Today is going to be a great day. I am Nikki G, your host. Welcome to the Lone Doctrine, the food for thought exploration station and your place in making today better than yesterday. We keep it short, simple, actionable, and practical. To wrap up this month, I wanted to encourage you to go back to the beginning of this month and listen again, especially after hearing all our explorations for the month. When it comes to topics that fall under the personal development realm, you should be open to repeat them because there's a very high chance that you'll find a new light bulb moment you may have missed, or something you didn't hear, haven't tried, or just in a new chapter of your life, and so your perspective has changed. After you've done so, I hope all our explorations can lead you towards taking the steps and filling your cup each and every day. Because if you haven't realized it already, self-unhappiness leads to a series of other problems. Sometimes we, you, I, are the root. And with that said, let's explore more of this concept with Zen habits. Why self-unhappiness leads to all other problems. It started off with a close family member who was having relationship problems. She was always anxious about her boyfriend, what he was doing, whether he was talking to other girls online, whether he was calling her enough, whether he cared enough. This worry about her boyfriend was turning her into an anxious, unhappy young woman. I tried to help her, but as I did, I realized that the root problem was that she was insecure about her relationship because she was insecure about herself. She didn't have faith in herself and needed her boyfriend to have faith in her instead. And she sought happiness from her boyfriend because she didn't know how to be happy by herself. She wasn't whole, so she was always looking for someone to make her whole. This is extremely common for men and women. They want their partner to make them happy, and when that inevitably doesn't happen some of the time, they are unhappy. But then I saw the same problem in another relative, an older woman who drinks, takes pills, eats too much, watches a lot of TV, is overweight, and constantly depressed. She was unhappy and seeking happiness in the drugs, alcohol, food, and television. She couldn't find the happiness in herself, and so sought it in external sources. The problem with these external happiness sources is they not only give you a temporary burst of happiness, but then what happens when you're done eating or drinking? Where do you go next? You go for the next fix. The more I considered this problem of self-unhappiness and seeking happiness in external sources, the more I realized this was a problem that many of us have had for so many years. I work each and every week, each and every day to help people solve problems just like these. But in truth, I'm also working on it myself. So what is self-unhappiness? Well, that's probably pretty obvious. Self-unhappiness is simply not being happy with yourself, but it can manifest itself into many different things, and often we're not aware that it is a real problem. For example, if you're eating a lot of unhealthy food, it might be because you are depressed, which is because you can't find happiness in your life, which is because you're seeking it in an external source, a temporary escape, which is because you don't know how to be happy by yourself without those temporary escapes. Many people are unhappy with their bodies, which is a very common form of self-unhappiness. Others don't have trust in their ability to stick to a habit change, another common form of self-unhappiness. Others are always worried that other people are judging them and are not confident in their abilities. Many people fear being abandoned or rejected, and allow the fear to stop them from doing some really great things. Self-unhappiness doesn't mean you're always beating yourself up. It might be just a lack of confidence in yourself, a fear that you're not good enough, or an inability to find happiness in yourself without finding it in an external source. Here are some of the problems that self-unhappiness can cause. Weight problems. Actually, there are a lot of reasons for weight problems, but one of them is unhappiness with your body. Another is addiction to food as an external form of happiness. How about TVs, smartphones, computers? When we need happiness, we often look to an external source. And a TV and computer and smartphone, video games are common sources. For example, when you want something interesting in your life, you might look at Facebook or Instagram or watch a soap opera comedy, and there's endless choices these days and age. Debt, clutter, shopping addiction. People are conditioned to find pleasure in buying things. And so we get some pleasure out of buying shoes or the new gadget or a piece of furniture or even a car. That lasts for a little while. Then because it disperses, we do it again. As a result, we rack up huge debt and a lot of clutter, which sometimes leads to hoarding. Why do people hoard stuff? Because they think those things have an emotional value or security. This is not a judgment, but an observation of myself and many others. So we have difficulty letting go of these things because when we lose our external happiness or confidence, it's very difficult to face it head on. So we have difficulty letting go of these things because then we will lose our external happiness or confidence. A really great thing if you find yourself collecting things or you're always looking around the house wondering why things are always so cluttered, watch the documentary, The Minimalist. I watched it and I tell ya, I went to spring cleaning craziness because it gave me so much perspective on my life, and I can't tell you how good it felt just to clean things out and have a fresh start. So check out The Minimalist, and I believe it's on Netflix. So then we think about all these things and we keep thinking of them. We find ourselves in a state of procrastination. We procrastinate because we fear doing something we aren't confident with. And also because we are distracted by the fear of missing out on something important. Then that causes the ripple effect into our relationships. We think someone else will make us happy, and when they do, we are joyful and we love them. Then when they don't, we are angry and depressed. The anger and depression, by the way, doesn't make it more likely that the other person will be happy with us. We are insecure in our ability to be happy alone and in our ability to be okay if someone leaves us, which leads to insecurity about the relationship, jealousy, paranoia, playing manipulative relationship games, neediness, and more. These are just some examples, but you're probably starting to get the picture. Pretty much every problem can be related to this root problem. So how do we learn to become more happy, to be self-happy? Trial and error with plenty of mistakes. Here are some really great things to think about. Some things you might learn is to just start small with small habit changes and then do them one at a time. This helps in order to build trust with yourself just a little bit at a time. And also forgive yourself for the mistakes along the way and learn to embrace the imperfections. Try meditating, and in doing so, you might learn a lot about yourself and your thoughts. Start to do what you need to do to feel good in your body. Learn how to be happy with yourself without needing other things. Find other external happiness things besides drowning yourself out in TV and social media and food and alcohol and sometimes even drugs. In doing this and finding different sources, you'll learn great things about yourself, and then you'll start to live your awesome life. And learn to be confident with yourself. Learn to be competent and lovable. And learn that you're already great and that you always were. You just may have gotten off the path, or you didn't know it yet. All of this will take time, and be open to learning and making various changes. It takes time because you slowly uncover things about yourself you didn't realize both were good and bad. Actually, none of it is really good or bad, but some of them you can let go of, and the others it helps you to embrace. Side note, a lot of people ask me why I share other people's blogs, articles, studies, etc. And most importantly, it's because I do not know everything. I will fully admit to that, and because in exploring, we gain the knowledge to truly pursue our best lives. There's so much to be learned and clues towards success in other people's stories, and an untapped power in becoming vulnerable and sharing your own story, and realizing that we're all in this so-called life together. Explore beyond our podcasts, and here's one way right at your fingertips. Books, books, books. You might be thinking, who has time to read? Or maybe you're a lover of books. Either way, as a Lone Doctrine listener, you have the chance to have seeds of greatness right at your fingertips. Visit lonedoctrine.com, and in the resource section, you can subscribe to Audibles where you can keep learning, thriving, and most importantly, making actionable and practical ways to keep your mind on the right track. You can download and explore over 180,000 bestsellers, new releases, motivationals, classics, and more for a free 30-day trial. It's free, really, for 30 days. So try it out today in the resource section at lonedoctrine.com. You are here to grow, as am I, as are we all. It's when we become stagnant or we create a photocopy life that things become more difficult. Same day, same thing, same thinking, that we lose the chance to embrace life to the fullest. Filling your cup is so important, and I truly believe that every person has a purpose, and too much potential is lost in this complicated system we live in, that ironically, we created. The new year is just around the corner, but a new moment comes to us tenfold if we are so fortunate. You are here. I challenge you, I support you each and every week to embrace your differences, to see the beauty in all our differences, and with good intention, we can make the world a better place. Speaking of making the world a better place, would you consider making our world a better place? We'd love for you to join our Patreon community as a patron. When you support us, you not only support the cause, you support our community, but you also create a sense of accountability with as little as $1. When we are seeking change for the better, sometimes the step towards transformation is putting a little or even a lot of skin in the game. It's a well-known fact, but one most are unaware of, and that is people value what they pay for. And our patrons who support this podcast are a true testament. They have skin in the game and in a sense paying for their mental gym or weekly brain boost, or better yet, taking the steps needed towards living their best life. We would love for you to join us, and the more you give, the more we can support you each and every week with more food for thought explorations. Come visit us at patreon.com/Lone Doctrine, patreon.com/Lone Doctrine, and you can also find the link in the show notes. But most of all, and most importantly, keep fighting the good fight.
It's a great day when you're